Hey everybody, today I wanted to show you how to do a little fun project, and it's going to be a phone number locator. And so this will essentially just take a phone number, and I'm going to show you how you can see where the state is located, and we'll also show you how to print out the time zone. And in some countries you can even show the carrier, but you can't in America, unfortunately, so can't do that. But we are going to be using the phone numbers library. So what you want to do is install that dependency. So inside of your terminal, you can just say pip install phone numbers, okay? And then I've already got it downloaded, so it's going to say satisfied. Okay, so if you don't have any errors, then you should be good to go. So the first thing that you're going to do, you're just going to import phone numbers. And because I don't want to write phone numbers out so much, I'm just going to use it as an alias. I'm just going to call this PN. Okay. And I am using PyCharm, so it's going to gray it out until I use it, okay? And then what I want to do is that I want to give this some data. So I want to add another file over here. I'm just going to call it numbers.py, okay? And so inside of here, I'm just going to paste in what I've already written. I'm just going to do these phone numbers here. So number 1, number 2, number 3. Now you do have to include the country code. So if it is an American phone number, just do +1 and then the phone number after that, okay? So I've blocked these out just in case it is your phone number. Don't want it out there on the internet. But I am going to be testing different area codes and see if those work. So now if I come back to my main file here, I'm now going to import those phone numbers, and I'm going to say from numbers import, just import my phone numbers variables. So number 1, number 2, and then I had number 3, and just make sure that these are spelled correctly. And just to test it out, I'm just going to say print number 1, hit run. Okay, you can see down here that it did in fact print just fine. Okay, now what I want to do is I don't want to have to change these throughout my program, so I'm just going to say number is equal to whichever one I'm going to be testing. So let's say number 1 for right now, okay? And then I want to also import a couple of things that we're going to be using inside of the phone numbers library. So I'm going to say from phone numbers, I'm going to import the geocoder as well as time zone. Okay, and so the first thing that I want to do is I want to check the country code for it. So I'm going to take that number and I'm going to parse it. So I'm going to say parsed number, and I'm going to use phone numbers dot parse, and inside of there it needs 2 arguments. The first one's going to be whatever my number is up here, okay? And in a string, I'm going to say CH, and C is for the country, and H is for the history, okay? So it's going to be checking that. And then it wants, so when I do this geocoder, it wants us to use this parsed number and what language we want it to return as. So if I just say, we can just say print geocoder dot description for number. And inside of that function, you're going to pass in your parsed number, comma, and then what language. So if you want this in Spanish, it would be ES for Español, or in our case, you just want English, so EN. Okay, and we can see if that runs okay. Perfect. So over here, you can see it printed Florida. So that's working very nicely. And now I want to look up the time zone. So I'm just going to make this a variable this time, and I'm just going to say zone number. And I'm going to use phone number dot parse. And I'm going to take whatever that phone number is, and then it's just going to be GB to grab that zone, and then I can just print time zone dot time zones for number, and then it's going to take that phone number, or sorry, that zone number that we just made. Okay, and we're going to hit run and see what it prints out for us. Cool. So Florida, and here's the time zone, America/New York. Okay. And it's always good before you do all this to check if the number is even valid or not. So let's just create a little checker. Of course, it'd be smart to check it before we do all this, but either way. So I'll just call this valid check, and I'll just take phone number dot is valid number, and then I want to use that parsed number. Okay, and this time we'll print it out a little bit differently. So I'll just use string interpolation, and I'll say number valid colon, and then I'll just put in valid check right there. Okay, and the reason I'm doing it like this is because valid check is going to return a Boolean, so it's going to say true or false. So if I hit run, you can see that it says number valid true. Okay, so what if I did another phone number here, and we can use the popular 555 number, and just whatever. Okay, 555 is invalid, and we know that from movies. Movies use the 555 number because it's not a real number. So if I hit run, you can see that now valid number is now false. Okay, perfect. And now I want to test my other number. So I've been doing number 1. Let's try number 2. Okay, and it is a California number. And here's the time zone, Los Angeles, and then it is a valid number. Okay, so now let's try number 3. Hit run, and it is a Texas number, and the time zone Chicago, and it is a valid number. Okay, so that is a simple solution of how to use the phone numbers library and locating these phone numbers. So of course it's not an exact location. It's just essentially taking that area code and checking that, and then checking the country and its history. If you are in different countries, you can look up the carrier for it. It's like T-Mobile or Verizon like that, but not in America. So that is that tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you like these videos, go ahead and like and subscribe, and hit the bell button so that you are notified whenever I come out with a new video. And I try to do that pretty consistently. And if you have any requests for any tutorials in the future, then please let me know down in the comments, and I would love to make more tutorials for you. Thank you so much and have a wonderful rest of your day.